Ever heard of the Roman emperors? Figures like Augustus, Trajan, Constantine. Their names sound like something out of a legend, don't they? They were once called the sons of the gods, living symbols of absolute power and glory. Imagine it. Their palaces, literally gleaming with gold. Their legions marching across continents, conquering everything in their path. When they passed, the crowds would roar their names, their praises echoing through the grand corridors of history. They were more than men. They were living monuments, their stories carved into stone for all eternity. But here's a chilling thought. The higher you climb, the harder you fall. And for the emperors of Rome, the very peak of their power was often just the first step towards their own destruction. It's like a classic tragedy, but played out on the world stage. You see, something shifted. The early emperors, for all their power, understood a certain kind of righteousness, a certain restraint. But gradually that was forgotten. It was replaced by something much darker: pride, paranoia, and an insatiable lust for more. They started calling themselves gods, demanding that people worship them, kneeling before their statues. But in their hearts they had no reverence for anything beyond their own ambition. The imperial palaces, once symbols of order and strength, turned into dens of conspiracy and bloodshed. This is where the story gets really grim. It became a place where brothers murdered brothers for a chance at the throne, where fathers turned against their own sons. The throne wasn't a seat of responsibility anymore. It became a blood-soaked altar to greed. And the characters in this tragedy? They were larger than life. Think of Nero. He became a legend for his cruelty. A man who, as the stories go, fiddled while Rome burned and then blamed it on an innocent minority. Or what about Caligula? He descended into such madness that he treated human life as a toy, appointing his horse as a consul just to mock the Senate. The later emperors, many of them just drowned in extravagant luxury, hosting decadent parties while their people starved and the empire crumbled around them. All the military might of Rome, all the legions and the fortresses couldn't stop the rot that was eating away at its very soul. The morals decayed, the spirit hollowed out, and the whole grand structure began to teeter. And then, the inevitable happened. The justice of the universe, or of God, depending on your beliefs, could not be ignored forever. The empire's borders, once thought impenetrable, were breached by what they called barbarian invaders. The grand cities were sacked, and the splendid palaces with all their gold and marble crumbled into dust and ruins. And what of the emperors? Those men who once demanded to be worshipped as living gods? They returned to the earth just like everyone else, as mere mortals, as ashes. Their golden crowns now lie buried deep beneath the rubble, and their names, once shouted with praise, are now whispered as a warning. A timeless, haunting reminder that no matter how high you build your throne, without a foundation of humility and justice, it will always come crashing down.